Hi there! Figuring out how to play along with your favorite songs is one of the best ways to learn how to play piano. But if you're a total piano beginner, it can be difficult to even get started because you don't know what to do with your hands once you sit down at a piano. So today I'd like to teach you a really simple rhythm pattern that you can use with any chords on the piano. And with a rhythm pattern like this, you can play along with most of your favorite songs. Once you become comfortable playing this rhythm pattern, then all you need to do is figure out which chords go along with the song that you want to learn. And trust me, that's the easy part. It's easy to figure out which chords go with a song. The harder part is figuring out what to do with your hands to play along with the song. And so that's the part I'd like to help you with today. This pattern is very simple, but it is also very versatile. I've used this pattern myself for many kinds of songs, from slow and romantic songs to fast rock and roll songs. I think that you'll find this is very versatile when you learn it and try to apply it to different kinds of music. So you do not need to know any kind of music theory in order to play this rhythmic pattern, but I am going to start here at the whiteboard so I can show you the pattern visually. And then we will head over to the piano and I will show you the pattern in practice, and then we can listen to the pattern together. So let's get started. This pattern works best with a song that has 4 beats to a measure. Now, if you're not sure if your song has a count of 4 or not, basically any song that you can clap along to typically has a beat of 4. Here on the whiteboard, I've written out a sample measure. And the idea is that we will keep repeating this count of 4 over and over again. The numbers represent the main beats of the measure. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. The ands represent the midway point between each of those beats. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Now the reason why we use these and signs for the midpoint is basically to give us a little bit of variety so that we're not always playing on the beat all the time. It just helps make our music a little bit more interesting. In order to show you what to do with both hands, I'm going to put the notes for the right hand up top, and I will put the notes for the left hand in the bottom. Let me show you what pattern the right hand and left hand are going to play before we even talk about what notes they're going to play. Now I'm just going to use X's on these beats to show you when your left hand and right hand come in. We'll talk about the notes that you're going to play in a second. Right now, let's just look at the rhythm pattern, okay? Your right hand is basically going to play on every major beat, okay? 1, 2, 3, and 4. So that means that for the whole song, you're going to repeat this pattern over and over again. And it's going to sound something like this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Okay? Your left hand's going to play a pattern that is similar but has a little bit of a difference. This extra difference makes the song sound interesting while you play it. So your left hand is going to come in on the 1, but rather than coming in on the 2 like your right hand, the left hand's going to come in on 2's and, okay? Then we'll play the left hand again on the 3, and we're going to follow the same pattern. So rather than playing the left hand on the 4, the left hand's going to come in on the and, okay? So the beat with your left hand is going to sound like this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Okay, so the next step is to figure out what this is going to sound like on the piano, but we need some notes to play, okay? So let me write down a couple of notes that I think would be really good to start learning this pattern, and then you're free to try it with any chords that you want to, okay? I think it would be best if we started with C major because this is the key signature that sounds really happy and it has no sharps or flats, so it's the easiest to play. over here in the bottom quarter, I have written out some chords that you can use to play this rhythm pattern. So first of all, I recommend starting with a very popular and very common and very beginner-friendly C major chord. So that means that with your right hand, you can play C, E, and G all at the same time. And this chord will be the chord that you play on every beat. Your left hand is basically going to follow whatever the lowest note is in your right hand. So if your right hand is playing the C, E, G chord, your left hand is going to play octaves where your thumb and your baby finger are both going to find that same note, C, just lower down on the piano. And these are the octaves that you're going to play with this pattern, in this rhythm pattern, okay? Once you feel comfortable playing this chord, you can experiment with playing these other chords as well in using this same rhythm pattern. The next triad that I show here is FAC, with your left hand again following the bottom note of that chord and playing octave Fs. And then if you'd like, you can also add GBD as your triad, adding the left hand lower G octaves, because we are again following the bottom note of that triad. I will show you what it sounds like when you move back and forth between these chords. So let's head over to the piano and hear how it sounds. Okay, so I am here at my keyboard. Let's give this rhythm pattern a shot. Now, just to orient you to where my keyboard is on the screen, this here is middle C. And so we are going to use middle C to start the chord, the C chord that I mentioned before on the whiteboard. So with your right hand, try finding C, E, and G. And let's just try the rhythm pattern with your right hand first. Remember, the rhythm pattern for the right hand is that we're going to play the chord on every beat. So let's try it a couple times through. So it's going to sound like this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Awesome, good stuff. Okay, now the left hand, if we'll remember, is going to mirror the bottom note of this triad, right? So if your bottom note in your right hand is the C, your left hand is going to take octave Cs down at the bottom. Okay, and so the rhythm pattern for the left hand is a little bit different than the right hand. It's going to sound like this. Ready? 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Okay? Okay, so now let's try putting this hands together. Just take a minute to listen to what I play first, and then maybe try along with me when you're ready, okay? Let's listen to it together. I'll take it nice and slow. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Okay? Would you like to try along with me? Let's try that together. Ready, go. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Awesome, good stuff. So it may sound a little bit robotic or mechanical when I'm counting aloud. So I thought what I could do is just demo it for you without counting, so you just kind of hear what the pattern sounds like musically. You ready? Let's try it out. Here we go. So it sounds pretty good, eh? Like it does kind of sound like music. It will sound even more musical if we add in other chords at the same time. So let's give that a try. I think what I'll do is start with adding the F chord that we talked about. So we have a couple of ways that we can do this. We can use the F chord that is above our C chord, so that we go from here to here. But we also can take the F that's below the C, okay? Whether you go below or above is really just a stylistic difference, and it's up to you. It's whichever one you like the sound of, okay? So maybe I'll just try going back and forth between both. We can hear how that sounds. Ready? Good stuff. Okay, so I guess something else that we could talk about if you're ready to move on, if you find that that's really easy, the way that I was just playing it is that I played a full 4 counts on the C chord, and then I played a full 4 counts on the G chord, right? But another way that we can do this is to play just 2 counts in the C before we move into a different chord. So let me show you what that sounds like. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and awesome, good stuff. Okay, so play around with this, see how you like it, and let me know if any questions come up while you're trying this out. Like I said, the 3 chords that are the easiest to use with this rhythm pattern are C, F, and G. So you can move back and forth between all of them. I guess I could just try demoing the last ones too. So let's imagine we're starting with our C chord. We can move to F chord. We can also move to the G chord. Maybe back down to the F. And back down to C. Awesome. Awesome. Good stuff. Okay. I hope that's helpful. Try it out. When you get to the point where you're really comfortable playing these 3 different chords, you're probably going to want to find other chords to play along with this rhythm pattern. So I do have plans for another video where I talk about more of the chords that we can use in C major. So if you're interested in seeing those videos, then feel free to subscribe to my channel. That way you will get notified when that video comes out. As always, I hope this was helpful, and please let me know if you have any questions. Take care.